What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. So yesterday was a massive day in the gaming industry as Microsoft announced a huge acquisition worth several times more than the Minecraft purchase that they made a few years ago, and that's Zenimax and Bethesda. This absolutely shocked the gaming world yesterday, and we're going to go over what this means for Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo going forward, because trust me, this affects everyone. Also, we have to talk a bit about Super Mario 3D All-Stars, as we had some early sales placings come out in the UK, and turns out it's doing pretty well. We'll talk about that, as well as Nvidia responding to the RTX 3080 pre-order situation that didn't go well for the most part. Most of us wanted the card and could not get it. Well, seems that Nvidia has a plan going forward. As always, guys, if you enjoyed these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton, and if brand new here, hit that red subscribe button down below. And we're going to start today with the Xbox Series X and the Series S. They will be up for pre-order in just a few hours, 11 a.m. Eastern time. You want to be ready to go because that's when all of these websites and retailers will open pre-orders on these two systems. So get ready, because it sounds like supply will be limited. In fact, it sounds like it could be less than even what the PlayStation 5 had available after VentureBeat started polling certain GameStops and other retailers and found that 10 or even less Xbox Series S systems could be available for pre-order, and even as few as 2 Xbox Series S systems would be ready for pre-order. This is unfortunate, because it seems that once these pages go live, because, I mean, let's be real, we're gonna have some bots thrown in there too, trying to pick these things up, especially after the ridiculous announcement yesterday that took place with Microsoft, very strategic announcement ahead of these pre-orders going live. They will sell out very, very quickly. Now, I don't know when your GameStop in your area opens. If it is like at 11, you might wanna be ready then. Maybe it's 10, I don't know if they'll have a line. They might want to tell people ahead of time how many they even have, because I also had some people send me images of the stock numbers in some of the computers for these, and it wasn't many. It was like 6 or 7, for example, for the Series X, and like 2 or 3 for the S. So alongside of VentureBeat, I can tell you there won't be that many available. So I guess pick a retailer and just cross your fingers and hope if you're trying to get one of these. Also, here's a bit of nostalgia for you on a Tuesday. Do you remember Freedom Fighters back in 2003? It was a game that was on the Xbox, the GameCube, the PS2, and PC. It's kind of like this third-person strategy squad-based game. I just remember the main character was like a plumber or something. I only played it a bit, mostly at LAN parties that we had. When we were done playing Halo, we would fire up all different systems all over the house and play different things, and Freedom Fighters was one of them. Well, it looks like it has now made a return. You can pick this game up currently, and you can see this tweet here that they made. The Red Army took your freedom. It's time to take it back. Only this time without a disk drive. That's right. Freedom Fighters has arrived again, but now on GOG, Epic Games, and Steam with 33% off in the first week. That puts it just under $10 over on Steam or GOG or Epic, any of those places. What a blast from the past, isn't this? I saw this and I got hit with massive flashbacks and nostalgia of those old LAN parties where you would have, this would support 4-player split screen, by the way, in 2003. I miss those days. I would like to see more games now do that. That's why it was so cool to see Borderlands 3 kind of shoot for that with next gen, rather than just say, oh, it's like 4K 60 only. Having that 4-player split screen couch co-op is pretty cool. But yeah, Freedom Fighters, there you go. It's available right now. You can go pick it up on PC. And trust me, pretty much any PC now that was made in like the last 10 years, laptops, anything, should be able to run it. Oh, and we did have a bit of an update for Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6, because alongside of Microsoft's own statement about the acquisition of Bethesda and Zenimax and all of this, Todd Howard put out his own statement, and it seems to mention a massive engine overhaul that is going to be bigger than anything they've done even since Oblivion, which tells me, yes, they will still be using that creation engine, but based on next generation and how they mention a lot of different features and new things they can take advantage of with these more powerful systems compared to even the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4, it seems that they're going to take that engine and start kind of molding it more for modern systems going forward, which tells me it could even be about, like, for example, the SSD being a requirement maybe for PC, but leveraging those significantly better CPU cores, a stronger GPU, all of this. I'm hoping that this means that the game won't break constantly at times and it won't require a ton of patchwork. And I mean, yes, the jankiness is kind of part of any of these Elder Scrolls games or Fallouts or all of this, but it would be nice just to get a game that comes out from Bethesda that just works. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. We're starting right away with this massive acquisition that Microsoft announced yesterday morning. It took everyone by surprise. No one saw this coming, and it was crazy to see the reactions online and just the overall shock. Microsoft has now purchased Zenimax and in turn Bethesda. That is huge. I mean, think about it. At E3, there were shows you'd look forward to. You look forward to Microsoft and you look forward to Sony and Nintendo when they were doing, the actual shows there. But even then they would do of course, the Direct and the Treehouse and all this. And you look forward to like Bethesda. Microsoft just bought Bethesda, right? Like this is a huge, huge deal. In fact, it was worth $7.5 billion. That is $3.5 billion more than Disney bought Star Wars for. That is 3 times the amount that Microsoft bought Minecraft for. This is huge. I think this is the biggest acquisition I've ever seen in gaming. I can't think of anything else that comes even close to this, but there was a full write-up that was put out on Xbox Wire in their news blog, and we'll start with that. Today is a special day as we welcome some of the most accomplished studios in the games industry to Xbox. We are thrilled to announce Microsoft has entered into an agreement to acquire ZeniMax Media, parent company of Bethesda Softworks. Bethesda is an incredibly talented group of 2,300 people worldwide who make up some of the most accomplished creative studios in our industry across Bethesda Softworks, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, ZeniMax Online Studios, Arcane Machine Guns, Tango Games Works, we have Alpha Dog, Roundhouse Studios, and a ton of IPs, obviously things like Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Wolfenstein, Doom, Dishonored, Prey, Quake, Starfield, just a ton of different games that are now going to Microsoft. Here, for example, is the image that they placed at the top of that article, and you can just see Xbox plus Bethesda and just everything across there. It seems insane that is now under the Xbox umbrella. Now from this, a ton of questions started coming out. One of the biggest ones was what will happen, of course, with things like Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, 2 games that Sony kind of came in and picked up exclusivity for, whether it's timed exclusive or full exclusive and all this. We don't know the details of the contract or anything around that, the limitations placed on it when going to other platforms. But Microsoft did quickly come out and explain what their strategy will be there. Phil Spencer actually went on CNBC and started talking and answering questions there. One of them was exactly that. He mentioned that they will still be honoring any of those previous contracts that have already been set. This is something that they did before with like the Outer Worlds, for example, and Obsidian. That wasn't an issue for them. And even with Minecraft, despite the hefty price tag of $2.5 billion, they still left it on all platforms, and in fact, they're also bringing out a VR mode now for PlayStation VR, so they have continued support everywhere. Now, as for what will happen going forward for any games that Bethesda or any of the other companies create, will they be just exclusive to Microsoft and Xbox and xCloud and, well, Windows with their Windows Store? It's hard to say because they are not clear about that. It was very cut and dry with the previous games, Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. We're gonna honor those, not a problem. However, it seems that according to Microsoft, these games going forward, Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield, will be a case-by-case basis, which means most likely they're gonna weigh out the budgets versus, well, can we make this work as just a Game Pass game, or would it be smart to put it on the PS5 for $70 and let them deal with that price tag and all of that, and we'll just collect the money? I mean, the same goes for Nintendo, right? Going forward, sure, Doom Eternal, that's still gonna be there, right? They're basically done the game just about, it seems, and ready for reveal. But what about going forward with any other Doom games? What about smaller games that they maybe could put on the Switch? We've seen them just do Ori, both Ori games on there. Cuphead moved over. You feel like Microsoft will have some games that Bethesda would create also go to other platforms. But my biggest question, it's gonna be a massive test because we won't see Elder Scrolls 6 for, I think, still a while. Starfield's much closer. When they reveal those, will other logos pop up, specifically the PlayStation 5 logo? My favorite thing, by the way, is to just now consider one thing. and that is that Bethesda and Obsidian are now sister companies at Microsoft, which means they're on the same level there, which is weird to think about considering their history, where Obsidian was supposed to get a certain Metacritic score for a bonus. They did not make it by like 1.4. I think it was New Vegas, and they missed out on a bonus that hurt them badly for like a decade until Microsoft eventually came in, picked them up. Going forward, it seems that maybe New Vegas 2 is in the works. Could that be something that could happen? Because the IPs, of course, from Bethesda could be passed around, moved around as they feel that is necessary. How crazy would that be if after all of this, Obsidian gets to make New Vegas 2. They had some fun on Twitter. You can see here where someone asked them about it and they just kind of had the little emoji they made with like the shrugging shoulders. Hey, you know what? Why not? I know they're working on some other stuff, but hey, I'm sure they would have some time to go check out New Vegas 2 and start drawing up some ideas. Now, we also have this image here that you can see. This is from Playbox36, just showing the overall landscape now of Xbox Game Studios. Satya Nadella did mention that this literally doubles their overall ability to put out games, their game output, and yes, he would be correct. This makes a lot of sense for Game Pass going forward with a subscription service, since they want to continue putting out game after game after game. Not everyone has to be a big AAA style game, right? They'll still put out things like Grounded that they'll work on over time. They need smaller games, they need larger games, they need games every other month or every 2 to 3 months just from their first party studios to continue making Game Pass interesting for people to continue subscribing. So having a purchase like this, or that WB purchase that I'm sure was also floated around, I mean, it's basically automatic for Microsoft if they could make it work, and they could. It's not many companies could do this. Throw around $7.5 billion to automatically fix their first party issues. So now at this point, we still have to wait a bit longer. Well, I assume that a lot of games will start being entered into Game Pass from Bethesda's back catalog just automatically, maybe over the course of several months. This deal still needs a little bit of time to get done. It's an agreement that's been signed by everyone involved. They just need to go through a lot of regulatory things, all of this. They're expecting it to be completed, everything done, stamped, approved, all of that by the end of the 2021 fiscal year. So it'd be sometime between January and June. But after that, look out. Going into the next generation, Microsoft means business. Next up, let's talk about Super Mario 3D All-Stars, as we have some early looks at sales charts, specifically in the UK, that have been released. The question was, of course, how much stock would Nintendo provide? Well, from people I've talked to and images I've seen at different stores and even checking out my local Walmart, seems that they had plenty. They provided several stacks at a lot of different places of games for this, so it seems like they were ready to go. I mean, it's only gonna be a 6-month release anyway, so I would hope that they would front load this thing like crazy. But with the sales charts, it does look like Super Mario 3D All-Stars jumped immediately to the top. You can see it here. Number 1, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. It did knock Marvel's Avengers down. And we see Animal Crossing New Horizons there at number 3. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 dropped from 2 to 4. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is always in the top 10, by the way. That game is just gonna sell till the end of time, or until Mario Kart 9 comes out at this rate. WWE 2K Battlegrounds debuted at 6. Then we had Minecraft on the Switch, then Minecraft Dungeons, PES 2021, and Grand Theft Auto 5. Now moving over here to Twitter, Christopher Dring did say it's the 5th biggest UK Switch game launch of all time, behind Pokemon Sword and Shield, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Mario Odyssey. There are only 3 bigger UK physical game launches featuring Mario, bigger than 3D All-Stars, which would be Mario Kart Wii, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Odyssey, and saying Super Mario Galaxy on Wii is the 22nd biggest Nintendo UK launch, Sunshine is 35th, Mario 64 is 187th. Now, that is a good launch, but it's not like mind-blowing. However, it did knock Marvel's Avengers off of that top spot. And I mean, did anyone really expect anything other than this? It's a Mario game, has 3 very good 3D Mario games packed in. Yes, that includes Sunshine. Go play Sunshine, just try it out. But that, I mean, to me, looking at this, there's good value there for most people who are going to go to the stores. Rather than buy 1 Mario game, you get 3 just right away out of the box. Like it makes a lot of sense, and it's a 6-month release window. So yeah, everyone's gonna rush to buy this thing immediately. And through the holidays, I'm sure it will be a sales beast as well. I'm curious about Famitsu sales that we should be seeing, well, at some point today or tomorrow. We should really start seeing those numbers kind of leak out. So that's the one I'll be keeping on. And then of course the NPD sales, but so far it is off to a strong start. Probably surprising no one. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about that RTX 3080 pre-order situation, because it was pretty ugly, right? Most of us who wanted the cards could not get it. It sold out immediately. It went from notify to then just sold out. No pre-order button was ever visible for me and several other people that I talked to about it. It did seem like bots swooped in, and people, of course, were even bragging about it online. And then, of course, you look at eBay and you see these cards for $1,500 to $2,000. Seems pretty obvious what happened there. But Nvidia decided to have a full-page response to all the different questions that they were getting, specifically on their forums. They were getting beaten up pretty bad over there. But let's actually go over to this page here. You can just kind of see it's a pretty long page of them just kind of going through everything. We'll scroll through it here for a minute, and I'll kind of explain to you some of the bullet points here. One, it does seem like they underestimated the amount of traffic they were going to get hit with, which is weird because it seemed like when they first showed the card, it exploded online about how good the price was versus the performance. It was almost unbelievable for a lot of people. And then the reviews come up like a day before, and those were favorable. People were going to rush this. I don't know why they didn't expect this massive swarm of traffic. They do say that bots weren't the only, I guess, customers, quote unquote, to get these cards, as they managed to cancel ones for, I don't know, an address that ordered 40 of them. They managed to cancel most of those. And what it sounds like here is that Nvidia is prepping their own back end of their websites for purchasing, as well as working with retailers to make sure they are ready with more stringent security versus bots, and just overall the ability to accept that much traffic for what sounds like a large restock. So my advice, do not buy online for like these eBay scalpers, because I think in a week or two, we're gonna see more of them start to pop up online as a large restock happens. So again, be patient here. It seems that Nvidia got, I don't know, somehow caught off guard despite showing a very impressive card. And in, I don't know, 10 to 14 days, you should be able to at least take another shot at it. I wonder if they're going to announce it, because all they said in this page is to continue checking with retailers or to use their product finder to see which ones have them available at that time. I guess it's just gonna be sporadic and it'll just go up randomly. So keep your eyes out and don't buy from eBay scalpers. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day, as you're seeing here. This is from Amazing Drew, saying, I don't get why they haven't added N64 to Nintendo Switch Online. There's only like 20 games in the North American library that have aged well and people remember fondly, so they could do it in one shot and be done with it. I think Nintendo is running into a bit of an issue that they realize they now have. Really, if you look at the Nintendo Switch Online service, it is pretty much propped up by that the virtual console subscription thing that they have now, the Super Nintendo app and the Nintendo app, and it is like joined at the hip now, right? I think if they had come to the table and created a more robust online service overall, they probably could have taken the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo app and moved it separately and charged for that. If they add like 10 Nintendo 64 games, right? Because they didn't add any system this year so far, right? And I don't think they're going to. If they just added 10 Nintendo 64 games to that, including Mario 64, which, by the way, they technically just sold for $20 if you split those 3 games up, they are then adding 10 more, I would say bigger games, right? That would get people pretty excited, but it's still $20 a year. I mean, they'd be up to, how many would they be up to then? Like 60, 70, something like that games overall? They're not removing any. To them, they might see that as undervaluing their games, and they're kind of stuck until they work on that online service and add more features in a hurry. It's strange for Nintendo that they decided to go this route, and that's why I don't think we've seen Nintendo 64 or even Game Boy. Like, at least add that. And ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it here for Newswave. Enjoyed this video, guys? Hit that like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about here today. Whether it's Microsoft buying Bethesda, what do you think that's gonna do for them going into next generation? And how do you think they're going to treat Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield when it comes to the PlayStation 5? Are these Xbox-only games along with PC. Let me know what you think about that one. And then what do you think about Super Mario 3D All-Stars topping the sales charts in the UK? I figured it was expected, but maybe it surprised you. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.